All right, so this one we're going to look at a couple of rational functions, and similar to with the polynomials, we're gonna graph these and figure out um, where they're at. Um, and just like the polynomials, the book gives a little bit different method for doing these. I prefer just looking at the graph and doing that. So first step is still the same. Now this one is going to require a little bit of algebra. So these, if we're bringing everything over to the same side, then we're going to have to add fractions and find a common denominator. In this case, it's not too bad. So the common denominator is x squared minus 2x minus 3. You're just going to multiply that by the 1. So you have 1 minus 2x, and then minus x squared minus 2x minus 3. And all of that is over the denominator that we have. That's greater than or equal to 0. And now let's combine our like terms. The 2x will cancel. So we have negative x squared, and then we have 1 plus 4, or 1 plus 3, which is 4. And x squared minus 2x minus 3. And so now we just need to graph this, and we need to see where it is above the x-axis. So let's make this negative x plus 2. We'll factor this top, negative x minus 2. And factor the bottom. We have x minus 3, x plus 1. And so none of that cancels. And so now we just need to do the same thing we did in the last section where we looked at rational functions. We need to find the intercepts. We need to find the asymptotes. And so the intercepts will be where numerator is 0. So that'd be at 2 and negative 2. So x equals 2, x equals negative 2. And actually, we'll kind of make this a little bit better, easier to follow. So 2, 0, negative 2, 0. The y-intercept. Now this is kind of, we're treating this as our original function. This is the function we're graphing, which is the same as this, just moved over to one side. So when we plug in 0 for the x's, we get 4 over negative 3. So 0, negative 4/3 is our y-intercept. The vertical asymptote comes from setting the denominator equal to 0. And so we get x equals 3, x equals negative 1. And then the horizontal asymptote, we have a degree 2 over degree 2. So negative 1 over 1. So the horizontal asymptote is y equals negative 1. So now let's graph and let's see what it looks like. So we have the horizontal asymptote. We have the vertical asymptote here. We have the vertical asymptote at negative 1. We have the x-intercept at 2 and the x-intercept at negative 2. And we have the y-intercept at negative 4/3. And so now we can just kind of do the same thing that we did in the last section. I think I'm going to cheat a little bit, and we'll just plug this in the calculator and graph it, just for the sake of time. And so it's going to look like this. Comes up like that, and don't have the rest. And it's going to come up like this. Okay. Now we're just looking for where is this one above the x-axis. So there is our x-axis and y-axis. So from 2 to 1, sorry, negative 2 to negative 1, parentheses, because negative 1 is not in the domain. Then it's negative, coming up here, all the way till we get to 2. And then that goes to 3, but 3 is not in the domains. We're not including that. And then that's it. That's all the places where it is um, above the x-axis. And so this one definitely takes more algebra. Um, making sure that you can do this, may need to practice it a little bit, but should be something you can remember how to do. All right, so this one a little bit easier because it's already has 0 on one side. So we're just going to factor these. These are two difference of squares. So we have 4x plus 9, 4x minus 9. We have x plus 6 and x minus 6, and that is less than or equal to 0. And so let's find the x-intercepts. Let's find the y-intercept. Let's find horizontal asymptote and vertical asymptote. So here we have x is negative 9/4, 0, and positive 9/4 and 0. The y-intercept, plug in 0 for x, and we just have 81 over 36, which is a little more than 2. And then horizontal asymptote, we have a degree 2 and a degree 2. So the horizontal asymptote would be y equals 16. And then the vertical asymptotes would be x equals 6 and x equals negative 6. Right, so let's sketch the graph, and I will cheat again. And so we'll draw our asymptotes. We have horizontal asymptote way up here. And so let's see what this graph looks like. And let's plot x-intercepts. Let's plot y-intercept. And kind of extend this up because we're going to be coming up here like this, and then this one comes like that. And then this one comes like that. All right, so we are looking for where this one is less than or equal to 0. So let's see, that is at negative 6, positive 6. That is at negative 9/4 and positive 9/4. So negative 6 up to negative 9/4, bracket, union, and then starting at 9/4, it goes back down. And there we go. All right. So again, if you're pretty comfortable with the graphing part, these are not going to be too difficult. But if you have any questions, you can email me and let me know.